We're going to look at some of the ordering questions that you might get, so ordering integers and ordering fractions. We're going to start with integers, which are whole numbers. Now, the important thing to note here is that anything that's a negative is going to be smaller. Sometimes see students getting a little bit mixed up with this -2 and this -6, which one's going to be smaller, because 6 is normally bigger than 2, but in this case where it's negative, this -6 is actually going to be the smaller number. So smallest number, because that's what the question has asked me to order it into, is going to be -6. Cross it through, followed by -2, followed by 0, and then 5, and then 6. That's a nice 1-mark question. Moving on to ordering fractions, which is a little bit more involved. Now, this is a calculator paper, so I would say to you, please use your calculator. We can't really order these as they are at the moment because they've got different denominators, and we're going to find it really difficult to actually compare how large they actually all are with one another. So I would suggest that on a calculator paper you turn them all into decimals, and you can do that quite easily by just doing this division. So this 4 divided by 5. 4 divided by 5 is 0.8. 7 divided by 12 is 0.583, and then it goes on for a little bit. 4 divided by 9 is actually 0.4 recurring, but I'm not going to write the recurring. We would normally write a little dot above the 4 to say that it's going to carry, this 4 carries on going. I'm going to just write a few there to say that it's going to, 4 is going to keep on going. And then I've got 2 divided by 3, which is 0.6 recurring. Again, I'm not going to write that recurring. I'm just going to write a few to say that that 6 carries on going, and then 9 divided by 15, which gives me 0.6. And that's actually why I didn't write the recurring here, because I can see when I come to compare these numbers here that actually I've got this one here is a slightly larger number because I've got a few extra bits than this 0.6. Now they're all in decimals, I can actually start to compare them. I'm going to look for the decimal point and then the smallest number after it, because we've been asked to order our fractions starting with the smallest. So I've got 0.4, which is going to be the smallest one, so my 4/9. Cross it through when I've dealt with it. Then I've got a 5 here after the decimal point, so that's going to be 7/12. This is the next smallest one. 0.6 is slightly smaller than 2/3, so 9/15, followed by my 2/3. Cross those through, which leaves me with the 4/5 as my largest fraction. Now, this is worth 2 marks normally on a paper. Your examiner will normally give you 1 mark if they start to see you do this conversion into something that you'll be able to compare. So even if you don't get all the way through, or we make a mistake and we pop the fractions in the wrong order, as long as we start to see this, you're likely to pick up a mark.